all to play for still?
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. This is the fifth installment in our scouting series, looking at some right backs, the types of right backs, and some potentials, some potential attributes that Unai Emery may be looking at if he was to attack that right back position in the transfer market. As always, the player that we're going to look at today displays traits and displays I suppose, a skill set that may interest Unai Emery. We're not predicting that this guy signs for Aston Villa. And also along the way with this, there is no link to this player who is Vanderson from AS Monaco. There is no link with him at all to Aston Villa, but it's important I think, and you can disagree with me if you like, but it's important to look at players to see the attributes that they display. And then from there, I suppose, be able to talk about those players, be able to talk about what they do, and utilize that then the identification of maybe what a right back needs to be able to do within Unai Emery's system. The reason that I'm doing this series once again, and I feel I have to caveat it before most podcasts, if not all the podcasts that I will do within this scouting series, is because we don't know who he's going to favour. We don't know what type of player he's going to favour in certain positions. And just like we didn't expect him to want to go for a left back in January, he may want to, shore up that right-hand side with a 37-year-old Ashley Young and Matty Cash being the only two options in there. So that's why we're doing this piece. And after this, we will move on to centre halves and so on and so forth, all the way up the team until we get to strikers. But today we're going to talk about Vanderson. Very, very interesting player. Really interesting player. Brazilian player playing with Monaco. Made his debut for Grêmio only in 2020 and had a kind of a meteoric rise. Vanderson has never played any international football for Brazil. Not any underage football. But the likelihood is he will be called up to a senior squad very soon if he keeps going the way he's going. For Grêmio, he played 58 games, scored 4 goals, had an absolutely rip-roaring 2021 season, played 51 games in that season, scoring 4 goals as an 18-year-old, 18, just gone 19, turned 19 mid-season. That alerted Monaco to his prowess. Monaco signed him on the 1st of January 2022. There was a lot of clubs looking at him. AC Milan had bids rejected for him. Manchester United had bids rejected for him. Barcelona recently have been sniffing around him again and had been looking at him while he was in Grêmio. But it was AS Monaco that signed him for 11 million euros. There is no release fee, and they're so happy with the work that he's done since he arrived on the 1st of January that at the end of the season, last season in August, actually, I think it was, they re-upped his contract again to add an extra year onto it. So his contract runs until June 2027. For Monaco, he's played 48 games and scored 2 goals. Playing 26 games so far this season. He hasn't scored this season, but last year he scored 2 goals. So that's a little bit of a background to him. As I say, meteoric rise, 2 years of playing senior football, and it's going to take a lot of money. So this type are the team of this podcast today. The rest of them have been teamed as well. We've talked about the versatile defender. We've talked about the solely really attacking defender. We've spoken about the young gem player that we may be able to pluck from another team. That can play centre half and can play right back. We've spoken about yesterday. We spoke about One Fight, who's the known entity that Unai Emery knows and has played centre half and right back. And now we're talking about somebody who will cost a high price, but there would be a very high reward from signing him as well. Because I genuinely think this player, from looking at him and from reading reports from people that I respect, that this guy has it all. That this guy has like he will be in a Brazil squad soon. If he keeps, I would say very soon, should I say, if he keeps going the way that he's going, because he's had a really, really big rise to prominence. So a couple of things about him. Let me pop up his statistics here, and we will have a chat about him then. So this is Vanderson. He's 5'10". Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. He's somewhere between 5'8" and 5'10", and I went with 5'10" here, or 5'10.5", should I say? I just lost my train of thought there when I was speaking about him. He's right-footed, as I say there. He was born the 21st of June 2021, which makes it 21 years of age. Be 22 years of age after the season finishes. As I say, he's with Monaco at the moment, and what I want to talk about here again is a trait that I've tried to pick as much as I could in a lot of the players that I've highlighted, and the reason for that is that I think that it's something that Unai Emery will want the ability to be able to come in field a small bit, be able to play in those half spaces, but also be able to go on the outside as well here. Vanderson is a really important player for Monaco because of the way that he progresses the ball, specifically by running and by carrying the ball. Now, when we look at these successful dribbles here, he's 34.8% successful dribble rate. Once again, I'm going to say you got to marry the numbers with what you see on the field. He dribbles the ball quite a lot, and I would not have had him down as having a very, very poor successful dribble rate, because he's penetrating runs, specifically his diagonal runs into the box. You notice them when you're watching games of him, and it's something that I think he does really, really well. From a defensive point of view, we can see there that he dwarfs every other, or the two other players that we have, the two incumbents here at the moment. We can see tackles per 90 at 3.24. We can see his interception rate is right up there in the 97 percentile, 1.83 interceptions per game. Recoveries 6.34, which has him far and away ahead of our other two incumbents here. He crosses the ball more than the two gentlemen we have there. He's better shot creating actions, better progressive passes number. His pass percentage is a bit low, 75.6%, but it comes in the same rate as the two defenders that we have there at the moment, Matty Cash and Ashley Young. And once again, as I say, a theme and a trend that I tend to see with specifically more active fullbacks is that while their pass completion rate, when you look at the number, might be a small bit lower, it doesn't translate in the field. You don't see them they don't tend to give the ball away as much as you may think. And this was Vanderson was no different there. Pass attempts, he attempts 54.63 passes per game. So when we look at it here, he's got very, very strong defensively, and you can see that on the field. But other things that I have noted down on him here as well is that he possesses very good physical attributes. He's really, really good speed, and his acceleration over the first 10 yards is frighteningly good. It's brilliant. Allows him to cover ground quickly. He's got great agility, and once again, I've been looking at everybody I've been looking at here to see what their ability to change direction is. Do they have soft hips in the way that they're able to mimic wingers when wingers run at them? Once again, this guy does have that. That for me is huge when you're looking at a fullback. They cannot be rigid. And this guy has this. He can change direction. He can turn at ease. He's got very impressive strength when he's on the ball as well. He's stockily built, if that is such a word. He's robust, and he can compete physically with opponents from that point of view as well. So you're not going to push him off the ball. Now, he's not a Kyle Walker stocky. He's not a big, bustling, like muscular guy, but you're not going to push him off the ball that easily for sure. From a defensive point of view, he's really outstanding as a defender. I think he's really good. He's tenacious, not afraid to put his body on the line, as we can see there with his blocks and blocks and interception rate there. He'll throw his body at it, which will suit the English game if he was to move to the English game as well. A very good positional sense, and the reason that I say this is we've spoken about players who can tuck in and play that right centre half. I haven't seen him do that, but his positional sense is really good in the fact that he's got pace and he's able to get back and he can marshal that position if needed. but it's not something I've seen him do, to slot in and be that third centre half. And I don't think he needs to do it. I think he's too good to be out there. He's too good a defender that you can put him on an island out there. And you could let the winger in front of him, be a bit more adventurous, because he is a very, very, very good defender, from what I've seen. As well, he's good anticipation as always, and you can see that in his interception rate there. You intercept balls because you're able to anticipate the way the player is going to pass, or what the player is going to do with the ball, and you can't teach anticipation. You just can't. He's very good at one-on-ones as well. As I say, he gets in close to the player when he's defending one-on-ones. He doesn't allow them to stand. He doesn't stand off them and allow them space to have any tricks. He gets in close to the defender, and he actually forces dribblers into making mistakes as well, which is really good to see. You can see there the percentage of his dribblers tackled is 64.8%, which is quite high. It's up there in the 76th percentile. Where he also comes into his own is attacking. He is that modern, can play in both directions fullback, a good attacking fullback, very good dribbling skills. As I mentioned there, the successful dribbles do not tell the story here. He likes to dribble the ball. He's very comfortable taking the ball forward and carrying the ball forward as well. He really likes to overlap, to get out there and overlap, help support the team from an attacking point of view as well. Timing is a good... I suppose I was going to say timing is looks good, the timing of his runs, but when you only watch 4 games, I suppose when you look at it from that point of view, in the 4 games I watched, his timing was good, but I'd like to see probably a small bit more of him before making that, casting that aspersion at him, should I say. But, one thing I can say is that he does have an eye for a pass. You can see that in his shot creating actions, his goal creating actions, his key passes there, goal creating actions obviously being quite high there as well, and he can create goal scoring opportunities, as I say. Technically, once again, I don't see any negative with him as such, or any massive negative. Really good control, really comfortable with the ball, as I said before. Really accurate passer, very good at holding on to possession of the ball under pressure from what I've seen. Once again, it's another thing that I'd like to see more of him before crowning him with the massive... with a massive crown with regards to being the king of keeping the ball under pressure. His crossing is very impressive. His ability to cross the ball from short, medium, and I would say the Ahmed El Mohammadi, then the long distance crossing is quite good, and he can put the ball into dangerous areas, whether it be early crosses or whether it be getting to the byline as well. So he's impressive from that point of view. So overall, I've picked this guy as a real high price, high reward type player. All the talent in the world. How he hasn't been capped at underage for Brazil, I don't know. Probably just goes to show the depth of talent that they have there. But even as a player, it's not like he hasn't been well thought of in Brazil. Maybe it's because he moved too early. I don't know. Maybe he was a late bloomer when he got to Grêmio. I don't know. But for me, I think he's a really good right back who possesses a very, very good physical build, some good technical attributes. He's very tenacious, strong one-on-one defender, and has all the attributes, the speed and the comfortability with ball to be able to help in the attacking side of things as well. Transfer market have him there with a current value of 18 million euros. I'd say you're looking north of 30 million to be able to price this guy away from Monaco. That's why we're not in the prediction game, and we're obviously not predicting Aston Villa would sign him. But the type of player that we have here, if we're to get markedly better at right back while trying to keep the age level down of the person that we buy. So when you're trying to, I suppose when I'm looking at players and potential fits for the team, and looking at potential players that could come into the English game, I think with a team like Aston Villa, you need to get your money's worth. You need to have a player that's young enough that maybe has a sell-on value. I know I usually don't talk that way, but when you're buying a 21-year-old right back, You want to get 3-4 good years out of him. If the club are progressing, you can hold on to him. If the club aren't progressing, but he's progressing on an individual level, you want to be able to make money back on him. That's why Monaco pulled the trigger very, very early. They brought him to Europe. They're reaping the rewards of having him there at the moment. 11 million euros they signed him for. Transfer market, as they have him there at 18 million euros. It'll definitely be north of 25, 30 million, probably even more if you get into a bidding war with some of those bigger teams, the likes of AC Milan, Barcelona, Manchester United, as I mentioned previously. But he's an extremely talented player. He's one that you don't hear an awful lot being spoken about him, but he will be spoken about, I think, in the coming months and years. And I think he will get a move to a big team. But he's shown the propensity to be able to understand that his development within the European game and his development. He could go to a club like Monaco, who once were a kingpin within the French league, have a bit of backing behind them, are looking to make their way back into the upper echelons of the league again. Yeah, look, I'm not saying that they've dropped down or anything like that, but Paris Saint-Germain are obviously the big daddies in that league. You've got RC Lens at the moment. You've Marseille last year. There's always upstarts that come up and try and challenge as well. And I wonder if maybe if he did want to come to the Premier League, he could see a project like an Unai Emery project because of his youth, because of the money we have to spend. I would think that we would be able to afford him, but it would be enticing him to the club would be the hard part. But looking at the type of player he is there, I think that every single Aston Villa fan would agree that if you take the money out of it, that type of player, as I say, would be music to our ears if we were able to sign that type of player in the summer, regardless of whether we think that the right back position is an area of immediate concern. We didn't think the left back position was an area of immediate concern. And we went and we signed a left back in January. So I'm keeping all options open with regards to what positions we will try and upgrade in the summer. And as I say, Unai Emery will have his plan laid out for Aston Villa Football Club going into the 2023-2024 season. And I am licking my lips at the prospect of a good summer, of seeing who we're linked with and trying to figure out what makes Unai Emery tick in the transfer market as well. So that's going to do it for me today. Check out Vanderson yourselves. If you see what you think of him, drop a comment below. Let me know if you think he's a good player, if you think I'm talking through my hat. But if you do like these, please give us a thumbs up. Please also spread the word about the podcast. We're looking to get subscribers. We just cleared 5,000. We're on to 6,000 next, and we need your help to get there because, as I say, I love the way this podcast is growing organically. I love the way that every single week we're seeing more new faces come in there and sticking around and conversing within the comment group. This is a pre-recorded podcast, so if you are commenting this, I do apologize for not reading out your comments, but normally, as you say, when we do the live hits, we would read out those comments. So please comment below on this if you think Vanderson's a good player. Please comment if you want to see more players like this. Please give me some suggestions of centre halves so you think would be a good fit for Aston Villa. As I'm moving on to the centre halves next, I have about 4 players. I'm looking to find one more player to add in there, and you never know. As I say, I would like your suggestions, and I would see if maybe we could maybe highlight one of those as well there. So pop them in the comments below. Give this a thumbs up, and if you know of anybody that likes that would like to get involved with the podcast through commenting or watching, tell them about it and get them to subscribe as well. It costs you nothing to do it. So thanks very much, everybody, for listening. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to do is say up the Villa.